Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros. I talk about politics, sports, and entertainment to keep you well rounded. What's going on around the world? If you don't like hearing the truth, definitely don't tune into this channel. So let's get started today. So, this is part two of Gavin Newsom sitting down with Shawn and lying through his teeth like the communist, evil piece of garbage that he truly is. Let's jump into the video and go from there. I'm going to break these up into 20-minute segments because Shawn Ryan, unfortunately, had to sit with this slime ball for 4 hours.
I mean, how far along are you in that poll?
They're almost done. They've been working on this 6 months. In fact, not only 6 months, a couple of years ago at Sunnylands, California, which is an amazing place down near Palm Springs, I invited and convened a group of international experts around COVID, and they began the process of stress testing, the interviews.
Would any of you trust a bunch of people that Gavin Newsom put together to do a report on COVID? If you really trust anything that this man does, you have a mental disorder.
That are going to inform this report were done then a few years ago. And now we're really looking through all the data,
There he goes.
which is county by county. Remember, California's, I know we did the stay-at-home order, which was top-down, but a lot of the local decisions really informed the pathway ultimately out of this process. And
can somebody explain to me all these swaying motions? And when Hawaii was burning to the ground in California, he was dancing because that's the devil inside of him that he can't control when he lies. He gets joy out of lying. That's what Gavin Newsom is. He's a liar.
Or out of COVID. And so each county had different approaches because each region of the state is radically different. Big rural areas didn't have the issues of density that downtown Los Angeles may have. So you had different rules and regulations. We probably would have, I'm assured this report will show, we should have started with the flexibility earlier in the process. But again, we didn't know what we were up against. So I think those are examples of areas where going forward, we want to
No, he didn't care what he was up against. He didn't care what COVID was doing to people. They were using COVID as a chance to steal the 2020 election by ballot harvesting. That's how Democrats stole the 2020 election, through COVID. They didn't care about people. He didn't care about people taking their own lives. He didn't care about businesses being closed down. He cared about absolute power, just like the rest of the corrupt Democrats that will do anything to win, lie, cheat, steal, murder like the Clintons.
Form whoever's in leadership going forward how to approach a novel virus. But vaccines, man, save lives, period, full stop. I'm just not, by the way, RFK Jr., it's a friend of mine.
Here we go.
I was with him in the governor's office.
Really?
Talking about, he handed me, I think I have 6 or 7 damn books he gave me, just all these attacking big pharma, et cetera. He's an old friend, one of my environmental heroes.
So Gavin is going to sit there and he's going to pretend that none of these COVID shots gave anybody cancer. We have cancer spreading in young people like wildfire at the earliest ages after COVID vaccinations and the boosters. But he'll sit there and they're good for you. Take as many vaccines as you can.
Guy's next level, wrote some of the best environmental books in this country, connecting to God and Mother Nature, connecting to generations. I mean,
he was so filled with conviction, connecting with God, something he doesn't know anything about. Because if you lie like he does, every word that comes out of your mouth is a lie. You don't know anything about God.
It was a spiritual quality to how he expresses himself and connects to our earth and our species and biodiversity. He touches me, man. His dad was my political hero, like the why I'm here. Bobby Kennedy, man. His dad, Sergeant.
Yeah, Gavin Newsom got into politics for one reason, himself.
Shriver, the vernacular of the 60s, solving for ignorance and poverty and disease. And so his son, his family, I revere. I was at his mom's funeral. One of the few governors, the only governor in the country at his mom's funeral. And so I respect Bobby, but he really turned on me early, and he flat out lied about some things.
What did he lie about?
He lied about, said, though, because Newsom got some I got sick for 2 or 3 days, and he said it was because of a vaccine, and then he lied about what I had. He weaponized it. He misled. I was like, and I was reaching out, going, brother, the hell's going on? And I saw him go down this sort of darker, good people can disagree. And I'm, by the way, Make America Healthy. That's California. I've been leading that cause for decades.
California is Make America Healthy. Every time you step in California, your life's in danger. Oh, yeah, it's real healthy to go to California, Gavin. I mean, between the fires, the criminals, the illegals, the gangbangers, the crime, the drugs in the street, people pooping in the street. Oh, yeah, it's real safe.
There's no governor. Again, forgive me. That movement started in California. I did the Skittles ban a couple years ago. My buddy Marshawn Lynch was all pissed at me because we're going after red dye earlier than, and all the folks at Fox were mocking me. Now they're all jumping over, patting themselves on the back.
So let's get this straight. Now, Gavin, he's pro-gun. He's pro-healthy. He's not into big corporations at all. He's such a centerist now, Gavin. Right. I know. As the state that he runs burns to the ground, filled with illegals who are shooting at ICE officers, but he's a centerist.
Interesting.
Leading this ever. But so I've always admired that about Bobby. But on the vaccines, I think some skepticism, absolutely. But I think that there's a lot of mis and disinformation that is really hurt public health. It's my humble opinion.
Do you think that some of the restrictions that you put in place created a mental health crisis by being locked up, by not being able to enjoy the outdoors?
It was devastating. Come on, man. Of course. I mean, it was for everybody. Kids in particular. I got 4 kids. Sitting there trying to get them on Zoom. I mean, Jesus. I mean, you can't. Now I can't get them off a damn device. No one's naive about that.
So he obviously asked, do you feel guilty that you caused a mental health crisis? Him and his family went out with no masks, went to restaurants. He sent his family to live in Florida while everybody was locked down in California. Why doesn't the question get asked? Oh, it's about him and his kids, right? F everybody else's kids. It's about Gavin and his special little commie children.
Come on. It was, I mean, we're all, and we haven't gotten through it. We don't want to talk about this. We want to indict people, but we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to have a real conversation about this. It's one way, not two way, because it's again through the.
So Fauci shouldn't be indicted, Gavin? Is that what you're saying? Nobody wants to have a real conversation. We just want to talk about emotions and what we could have done, but nobody should pay the price for causing millions of people to take their own lives, for causing millions of people to get cancer, for causing millions of people to lose their businesses. No, that's not a real conversation, according to Gavin Newsom.
The prism and lens of, our certainty, this sort of binary, you're right and I'm wrong. And, but yeah, no, I experienced it firsthand as a father of 4, as a husband, as a governor, as a, guy responsible for, 40 million people, trying to keep people alive, working with the president, taking the advice and counsel from his administration, which I think people forget. Operation Warp Speed was next level.
Well, they definitely forget that, and I don't understand the mental gymnastics behind that either.
And by the way, to Trump's credit, one of the great triumphs, how many lives he saved because of Operation Warp Speed, because of vaccines.
Now, do you really think that the vaccine prevented people from getting COVID?
I think it prevented the acuity of the symptoms and disease and kept people out of the emergency rooms. And I think that's universally accepted, at least by 90% of objective experts.
Man, I don't know. I just, when that...
Shawn, stop being so nice. You do know. The COVID vaccine didn't stop anybody from getting ill. All it did was cause people to get cancer and to become more ill. So you do know.
I wound up getting the vaccine. It's one of the only fucking things I regret. and I did it.
Which one was it? Did you go old school Johnson & Johnson?
Pfizer.
So you did the mRNA. Yeah, you did the novel, a different version.
And I was scared to death I was going to miss the birth of my son. So I took it. And then I got fucking COVID a couple weeks later, and they couldn't test. I got the test, and it was, this one's positive, this one's negative, and I'm like, you guys have any idea what the hell you're doing? You just gave me the same test with
The United States of America should have went to war with China when they released COVID on the American public. It was made in a lab in China, released on the American public to sway the election. It's an act of war. And President Trump, the minute he got in office, he should have declared war on China for COVID and all the other garbage that they do to them. You know how many American citizens have died because China is bringing fentanyl into the United States of America? It's an act of war. It's time to show China that they don't run anything, that we, the United States of America, and President Trump run the world.
With a positive and a negative.
Yeah, there's a lot of false positives. Man, it's messy. Life's messy. Public health is messy, and there's no experts out here. There's, again, back to, I just think everybody, I don't know how to best say it. Anyone has certainty about what we did or didn't do or could have. I mean, just bullshit. Little humility across the board. All the so-called experts.
It's bullshit, really? So the Cuomo brothers are two scumbags that let thousands of old people die in nursing homes, painful, lonely deaths. You don't have a problem with that, Gavin? No big deal. It's bullshit, right? Oh, the Cuomo should just have a conversation now. They shouldn't spend any time in jail with Fauci, your idol.
Experts that said, well, just let it rip.
Mm-hmm.
That's Earth 2, and I'm glad I didn't live on Earth 2. And, you know, in vaccines, yeah, we overhyped that somehow this was going to end the pandemic. So there was some language. I mean, was that Fauci? Was that Trump? Was it, because then again, Trump administration, buck stopped somewhere. Can't blame Biden for that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he didn't, I mean, I'm sitting there talking about reagent.
I mean, Gavin, we all know China has you in their pockets. How come you don't mention China? Because that's where the virus originated from. But he'll never mention China causing an act of war towards America by releasing this virus. Nope. Won't mention it one time.
With him and swabs. I mean, I remember calls with Trump. None of us knew what the hell we were talking about. I mean, Corona. We were talking about beer back then, man. People don't even know what coronavirus. What the hell is this? MNRA, NRA, what that? You know, literally, it was all. This is all new, and so you had to count on the experts, and that leadership is at the top, coming out of the White House.
Mm-hmm.
And I know, you know, we talk about bleach and stuff like that. I mean, I know we mock that, but man, it wasn't like a master class of leadership.
Yeah,
ultimately there, but it was a master class on Operation Warp Speed. And I grant Trump on that. It shows that government can do big things when it wants to. I happen to believe in vaccines. I think it's one of the most extraordinary things that's ever happened in our lifetime because it's extended our lifetime, saved millions and millions of people's lives. And I say that as a guy that's gone after big pharma and has the receipts.
You know, I think you received a lot of criticism in, you know, kind of where I'm going with this is the rules for thee, not for me type thing.
Yeah.
And so we saw Nancy Pelosi at the hair salon with no mask when California had the mask. I read somewhere, I don't know if it's true, that you had closed all the wineries except your own.
Such crap.
Is that bullshit?
I mean, it's such crap. It's not even, it's so insulting to your intelligence and to your audience that anyone would fucking believe that. Are you kidding?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Obviously not.
He's such a manipulating piece of garbage. It's so insulting that anybody. Yeah, we do believe that, Gavin. So you in the restaurant with no mask on with $1,000 bowls of spaghetti, that was all in our mind too? Your winery was open during COVID, Gavin. But it's so insulting. How dare you question the God, Gavin Newsom?
Not. I mean, we literally had a map as it relates to percentage of those that tested positive by county. And as the percentage
He got off that question pretty fast, didn't he?
declined, we lifted restrictions on capacity in restaurants, bars, hotels, wineries, hospitality generally. And each county, on the basis of an independent analysis, had those restrictions lifted. One of those counties, many of the counties, dozens of counties, were in Rhine country, which exists not just in Napa and Sonoma, but Central Valley, Central Coast, and they were lifted. I have businesses, and I'm proud of the fact that I've created close to 1,000 jobs, started 21 businesses.
Don't you know when Gavin points with conviction, that means he's not lying.
With no trust funds, right out of college, pen to paper. And I have a number of businesses in Napa that had the benefit of reopening and the burden of closing like every other business in that region.
These are just questions, I want to ask. I mean, we were talking at breakfast, I mean, I told you, I don't watch any news anymore because I think it is, I know it's all bullshit. And so there's some things that, that I've despised you for.
I love that. Man. I love your honesty.
That
I'd despise me for the shit I read too.
I want to,
I despise me.
Oh yeah, Gavin. It's only what we despise you because it's what we read. No, we just got to look at California, and we need to know that if you ever became president of the United States, that's what the rest of America would look like, a total dump hole.
For the French Laundry.
The French Laundry.
Well, I was wrong. I went to this damn restaurant. That's the rules for you just mentioned. I'm going to indict myself here. Biggest boneheaded damn decision I made. Now, it was a restaurant that was open. I went to a restaurant, and it was sort of coming out of COVID.
He's just got the coolest, smoothest answers for all of his evilness, doesn't he? He's just so smooth all the time, Gavin. Gavin, if you ever want to do celebrity boxing and raise money for Californians and all the poor that you like to take care of, I would love to be your opponent. It might be the worst day of your life. Pretty much, I would guarantee it would be the worst day of your life.
We were in that sort of category that I just expressed, where things were lower in that region. And this was a restaurant that was open, but it was against the spirit of what I was saying, which is you shouldn't have large dinners with large group of people, as we did. And I went to a damn birthday party, and I paid a price, and I own it. I'm not perfect, man.
Oh yeah, he paid the price. Some people took a couple pictures. He went to a birthday party. He paid the price. No, American citizens paid the price. People who lost their businesses, people who took their lives, they paid the price, Gavin. You didn't pay any price. You ate your $1,000 bowl of spaghetti. You laughed in everybody's face. You thought it was funny, and you didn't give one shit about it.
And I beat the shit out of myself for that.
Yeah, sure you did.
And everyone who criticized me is goddamn right. And I own that. And
wow, he's really trying to, he's got such humility now, Gavin.
There were plenty of other people making those same damn decisions that weren't on Fox News every single night. But that doesn't matter. I control, I take responsibility.
Yeah.
So,
okay.
Those are the things. I mean, you mentioned Nancy, others. I mean, life, man. It's, none of us are perfect. Maybe the president is in some people's minds, but none of us, in my mind, are perfect.
See, he has to mock DeSantis, and then he has to mock Trump. President Trump has done more for America in 4 months than this dirtbag has done in his entire political career. Total garbage human being.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate you coming clean on that.
Yeah.
And so, it seems like you're gearing up for maybe a presidential run. I mean, you were just in South Carolina, went to a couple different places there to speak. I mean, are you gearing up for a 2028 run?
No, I'm gearing up for 2016 because, from my humble perspective, I think it's existential if my party's not successful next year. And that's why I was out there on the stump, 9 different events, just making the case. Don't look for the guy or gal on the white horse to come save the day in 2028. I think it's the Democrat Party's. I'm blown away the Democrats' obsession with just that sort of perfect person that's going to say, sort of this John Wayne thing, this romantic version of that person is going to save the day. Meanwhile, we're not doing the hard work in between. 2028 is 4 damn years. I mean, this guy just got elected.
Could you imagine Gavin Newsom preaching about hard work as he lets California burn?
It's been obvious a little over 6 months, or about 6 goddamn months. Why the hell are we talking about 2028? And so we got to grind. We got to, these House seats. That's it, man. It's to me, I need a Speaker Jeffries. People out there love this Speaker Johnson guy. I don't. He wants, of course, to tar and feather me. It's a spiritual term, I imagine. I didn't see that. Maybe it's in the.
Oh, Gavin's Mr. Spiritual and Mr. Godly all of a sudden. It's just, he has no shame, this piece of garbage.
Yeah, the Old Testament, not the New Testament, but
right.
We have different points.
Hey, Gavin, Even the devil knows the Bible inside and out. Does it ring a bell?
View and world vision.
So you're not going to run.
I'm going to run if he tries to tar and feather me. But as it relates to the presidency, who the hell knows? That's fate. Do you meet a moment? Are you wasting anyone's time? Do you have a why, a compelling why? I mean, I would have to sit in front of you and.
Oh yeah, Gavin needs a why to run for president. The biggest narcissist on the planet, who's pretending to run for the people and his family and convictions when he points. Right, Gavin. You run. You do everything for Gavin.
Totally congruent.
Mm-hmm.
That I'm just like, this is the why. Why are you running? And just say this is, and have that burning conviction.
Oh,
I tell you, the more Trump keeps doing what he does, the more compelled I am to think about it. I've never felt more outrage, more anger.
Gavin, you do realize the only place and who you're popular with is illegal aliens, right? And they're not allowed to vote, but you want them to vote.
Towards the actions and often this individual than I do now.
Well, we'll get into that. Who are some, if it's not going to be you, who are some leaders in the Democratic Party that you would like to see step up?
Well, I think there's a ton of them. Look, I can give you, the who's who name, the list that everybody knows. But you have the lineup, a lot of folks that ran last time. They're outstanding leaders in our party. Again, 9 out of 10 people.
Hold on. AOC is an outstanding leader. Ilhan Omar is an outstanding leader. Gavin Newsom thinks he's an outstanding leader. Okay, Gavin. Chuck Schumer thinks he's an outstanding leader. Yeah, great, wonderful communist pieces of garbage, Gavin. That's what your party is. That's why you lost the last election.
Well, listening, rolling their eyes. I get it. Different parties. But you have extraordinarily talented people. You have to acknowledge, like Pete Buttigieg. You have extraordinarily talented.
Pete Buttigieg, the guy that said that the Maryland Bridge collapsed on purpose to send black and brown kids into the ocean. That Pete Buttigieg? Oh, yeah. What? Oh, excuse me. Right.
Governors that are emerging from Bashir to Whitmer to Shapiro to Wes Moore, who's a rock star. He's a buddy. You've got a lot of folks we don't talk a lot about in the Senate. Many in the House of Representatives. I mean, you see Ro Khanna making moves. Obviously, you see Chris there up in Connecticut. You see folks. I think that will emerge out of nowhere, including a lot of brand names, celebrities that folks are trying to mold since we're so into performative politics.
Interesting. Who?
I don't know. I mean, just the sort of you get the.
It's funny he doesn't want to mention Alexandria Cortez's name because that's exactly who he's referencing, but he's a piece of garbage liar. So there must be some, you know what? He just doesn't want to get laughed at because she's such a effing joke.
The Cuban types that are always being pushed, the rock types,
Mm-hmm.
where I don't know, their party affiliation. I mean, McConaughey is always talking about running for something, and so you have folks. I think Trump has just opened the damn door, and it's style now. It's narrative. It's not facts. It's who can dominate the conversation, man, flood the zone.
Mm-hmm.
And this guy's a master at this.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's.
It's not about facts. Exactly, Gavin. You never tell the truth, and people still don't believe your bullshit. Hey, no big deal.
Bit of a flim-flammer. He's a carny from my humble perspective, a music man in many respects, but he's incredibly gifted at defining the terms of the debate, unlike anyone in my lifetime. The Democratic version of that may emerge, may not. Bernie, though, is powerful, man. Cannot deny the populism of Bernie Sanders, the purity of heart, sort of conviction, the consistency.
The purity of heart. He's a communist piece of garbage that's never worked a day and is like, I'm here to save America. My name is Bernie. A doctor should make the same amount of a person that works at a supermarket so everything can be fair, but I've never worked a day in my life and get money from special interest groups. My name's Bernie Sanders.
A message repeats himself over in the vernacular of Marshawn Lynch over and over and over and over and over again. Trump does the same. There's something about that.
He wants to keep mentioning Marshawn Lynch for all the blue-collar football fans out there. Oh, Gavin's cool. He likes football. Another manipulation tactic by the snake, Gavin
In
Newsom.
terms of communication style, Is it AOC, the next generation, or is that Ro Khanna in that mold? I don't know. But it's, there's a lot of talent. And I wouldn't have said that 7, 8 years ago. I didn't sense we had that kind of deep bench. We do now.
Yeah.
Well, thank you. Speaking of...
You notice that Gavin never mentioned policy one time, and President Trump ran on policy: immigration, crime, inflation. He stuck to the policy, things that Americans care about. Gavin Newsom didn't mention anything of substance, and that's why they're going to continue to lose. So let him keep doing this whole charade that he does.
Trump and the presidency.
I got an idea, Gavin. You should run a Halloween costume store, and we could put all Democrats in there, and you could sell costumes of people pretending to be politicians, Americans, and constitutionalists, like all the Democrats in the Democratic Party.
I mean, a lot of people are frustrated on his base with what's going on. And so I want to ask you a couple of things, that are really hot in the news right now. And, I mean, let's talk about the Epstein stuff. There was a big push in his campaign about releasing the Epstein files. When are we going to see the list? And I mean, he rode that, in the campaign, and then is potentially destroying his entire base by just dismissing it and closing the case. So I'm curious, what are your thoughts on what's going on?
I mean, I don't want to just play into it, because the whole thing has always been, to me, a sideshow. But I thought it got real interesting when Elon put out that tweet.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, a few weeks later, what file? I thought...
He's such a lowlife. You know what's funny, Gavin? The entire Democratic Party, your buddy Bill Clinton has been to Epstein Island 10,000 times. Mention his name. Then why did Elon apologize to President Trump? And another thing, Gavin, if Democrats had their hands on this list when Joe Biden was president and President Trump's name was on it, you don't think that Democrats would have used that during the election? But I wouldn't expect anything less from the slime ball, Gavin Newsom.
It was really interesting to watch Trump take over for Pam, who's an old friend of mine. Don't want to get her fired for saying that. Bondi, the AG, and she was asked a direct question about it. Trump defensively jumped in.
Mm-hmm.
That was the most defensive I've seen him in a while.
So what do you think is going on with that?
I don't know what's going on, but I
know
think
the rumors. Was it a intelligence op by Mossad? Like what?
Well, that
what
was
the
one.
hell
That's
is
one
going
of the current.
I'm going to stop it there. Remember, I'm going to break this up into 20-minute videos because, unfortunately for Shawn Ryan, he had to sit for 4 hours with this slime ball, Gavin Newsom. Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros.